राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम 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 जय राम जय राम ओम श्री राम जय 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 जय राम ओम जय राम श्री राम 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 जय जय राम श्री राम 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 जय राम पापा सामना श्री राम जय राम ओम 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 श्री
Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Pranams to everybody, pranams. Pranam, pranam. Pranams, pranams, pranams. There you go. Yes. So chapter number 2, what are the points? Nobody would, if nobody has done a homework, you will not be able to say anything. You will be only a hearer. Huh?
Toughest chapter, renunciation.
Renunciation. What are the points?
We must pray in our own words, Swami.
Hmm?
Prayer should be in our own words.
Prayer should be in our own words. That is the first and foremost thing it teaches us. Very good. Then, self-originated prayer. Let us be very clear. Self-originated prayer. So far we have been reading the prayer composed by Mahatmas, Shastras, so many. And we have been repeating it. And when we check up for ourselves, it has not had any dent in our behavior. I won't say 100%, majority. We always think about it, whether how do we arrive at this? We have been repeating this universal prayer, and the second line says entirely to you, but we have not been able to do it. But still, we religiously continue to read it. That's what we meant. So, if it is because it was Papa's original prayer, what he experienced, he put it in the prayer. So, similarly, now they are giving us the direction that you should also train to pray in your own way. Not that we are belittling the importance or relevance of the prayer composed by Mahatmas. They give us the guidance, how to pray, what should be, all those things. But the prayer by itself should be in our own language. Heartfelt prayer. Then.
A course of severe discipline.
Course of severe discipline.
A course of severe discipline.
That means along with what? Along with whatever we are doing, we should have some more disciplines, you know?
Yes, sir.
Whatever we feel like, that will put us on the path. Okay, then.
Distinction between purity and impurity. Distinction between purity and impurity.
What, uncle?
Purity and impurity.
Purity and impurity.
What is purity and impurity? We have to ask ourselves.
Of our own conscience.
According to Papa, impurity means the me and mine. It is the easy way to identify the impurity. When it is free from me and mine only, it becomes 100% pure. So you may not be able to reach 100% purity, but we can definitely start from the impurity level, try to eliminate by becoming more and more me to we. In that way, our likes and dislikes and preferences and priorities and rights and wrongs will become reduced. Because otherwise purity means, we may mean so many things. For enabling us to easily understand, it can have so many interpretations. But the easily understandable interpretation is not self-centeredness, selflessness, in as many as possible. Then
self-denial, any kind of penance.
we are in the second chapter.
Yes. Second chapter. No intermediary, direct dependence on God within.
Understandable language. That is the truth. But how we can try to do that?
By direct prayer.
Prayer. No, this is a very important point. How will we make it a reality that there is no intermediary? Kindly think, there is no hard and fast rule. We have to find out how it can be implemented in my life.
Talking to God.
Huh?
Talking to God.
Talking to God. Talking to God. Suppose if we can train up and at least for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes in a day, we can train ourselves how to be in communion with Him.
And also Swamiji listening to his sanket.
No, 1 minute.
His indications.
No, 1 minute. When we develop this habit of talking to Him, then only we will go to the next stage of relying on Him. Straight away relying on Him, it cannot become a reality. So suppose we start developing this 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute dialogue. You are there, but I am not aware of your presence. And you bring about so many situations outside, and immediately based upon my inferences, my fixed notions, my thought immediately prompt me to give it out, and then I hardly think about you. So kindly give me a methodology by which I react to events and individuals based upon your presence. Your presence means how should I take it? Intellectually, I know it should be in the form of selflessness, in the form of values. If they are expressed, you are there. But why don't you make me feel? So far, I feel, you are talking to me, you are guiding me, it should be in this particular method. Kindly free me from that conceptual prison. Is it clear to everybody?
Yes, Swami, yes, Swami.
Normally, when we say we should talk to Him and we should seek His guidance, we need some device. We talk to Him now. Now, how do we know when we react to events and individuals that He is guiding us? So, wherever there is no self-interest involved, in any form, where there is no self-interest is involved in any form, wherever the values are writ large, wherever the me to be, then we can say that he is there. So we have to find out, by the methodology also we should find out. All these things will come only when we go deep within. This is what Papa expects all of us to do it. Nobody gives us an instruction and then we follow it. Suppose you say, we are not depending upon any intermediary. We are not to depend upon any intermediary. Suppose we ask somebody, how do we do that? Again, we are asking for an intermediary, no? So it should be a process. It should be an outcome of a process. It should be an outcome of a process, That means we keep on relying on him, talking to him, and then he reveals to us that he is present in all these forms. So in his case, he showed us it is free from self-interest. Self-interest means the self-interest can come in a subtle way also. I have told this, the self-assertion. The first article Papa says about the self-assertion, self-assertive attitude. When we assert ourselves, we are denying his presence. We have to think about it, and we have to devise some method how it can be done. It is purely an outcome of a subjective process. Okay, then next point.
Papa was actuated to refer to Bhagavad Gita, light of Asia, and so forth. And in that, slokas are many. And that important is Sarva Dharman Paritejya, Mamekam Sharanam Vrajat, Ahantva Sarva Papakam Moksha Ityami Mahashitasa.
We are in the second chapter, no?
Yes. It is coming there.
So the
second page, sixth page.
Sheri, how are we? No, we are trying to understand what can be applied in our life. If we have been reading the Sarvadharman Paritejya, we know its meaning. But unfortunately, it has not gone deep into it. Because if it has gone deep into it, then we don't need abandoning all duties, come to me alone for shelter, sorrow not, I will liberate thee from all sins. So now we are trying to find out what is the applied spirituality. No? The other one is there as in text. It can be put in this way that when there is a prompting from inside, when there is a prompting from inside to take a drastic step, it is better just to ensure that it is not the play of the mind, we go through important texts just to know whether it authenticates, whether what we are thinking is correct or not. That is the message from this. When he quotes 3, the idea is he was fired with this idea to leave everything. But he wanted to know whether it is the disturbed mind's play, or whether it is coming out of a frustration, or whether it is okayed by evolved ones. So that is how he made use of these 3 quotations. Then he knew, yes, they have also sanctioned. So it is not the play of the mind. Initially, for a sadhaka, this is a must, because there is every likelihood. Ram had thus spoken out through the words of these 3 great avatars, and all of them pointed out the same path, renunciation. Then he said, at once Ramdas made up his mind to give up for the sake of Ram all that he till then hugged to his bosom as his own, and leave the samsaric world. So he wanted whether it is a sudden impulse or whether it is a genuine prompting from God. So there may be many such instances welling up in our mind. So to ensure that it is not the play of the mind, we try to go through the words of wisdom of masters. Is it clear? If it is not clear, we will again try to go through, because we are not interested in covering the portions. Any item that goes inside directly, it is for that purpose he referred these 2. And then anything else? Everybody is keeping quiet. Only a few people are telling. Please join us, those who are hearing. You don't have to feel whether it is right or wrong. Whatever that comes up in your mind, you share with us about the second chapter. What does the second chapter mean to me? This question we are asking.
Try to leave the samsaric world slowly to the extent possible.
Will you please repeat it once?
Trying to leave
Trying to
the
leave
samsaric world,
samsaric world.
samsaric world, do not fully, at least to the extent possible.
To the extent possible, samsaric life,
samsaric
leave
world.
the samsaric life. Try to
To
leave.
the extent possible.
Expansion of love.
Swamiji,
Ah.
renunciation is a very strange word. On one side, there is a renunciation, but on the other side, there is complete dependence on God. Right, Swamiji?
Renunciation only means total detachment.
Yes.
Detachment to the ephemeral objects. The ephemerals and eternal, we should have clear-cut guidance. So by renunciation, what is meant is not running away from anything, but only total detachment. And when the final plunge, if it has to take place, then we will not discuss like this. It will already come and we would have taken. So that part we need not think about it at all. Our job is to maximum develop the detachment, that's all. The final plunge, it is not a product of any thought. Final plunge, when God feels that I am fit enough, He will push me to that. Up to that, He has given me a sense of freedom by which I prepare my everything.
Swamiji, no loose ends.
No loose
By
end.
doing so.
That means when He leaves, when He left,
He wrote letters.
not that he left. It would have created confusion, no? Where has he gone? Something had happened to him. So many things. So he made it very clear that he is going out for this particular purpose, and he gave them his suggestion as to what they should do. And he also wrote a letter to the friend who is running the establishment, probably to take care of the family. So there is no loose ends. It is not simply running away. To get himself established in God conscious, to get himself established in a state where the God dimension is steadied in his mind, God prompted him to take this final plunge. But at the same time, God is there also in the form of family, in the form of friends, in the form of duties. So everywhere, this is the signal. It is not an individual who is taking a decision. The individual is prompted by God. At the same time, God takes care of others also who are apparently depending upon him. That is what is meant with no loose ends at the Vyavaharic level.
Swamiji, one more important thing is a prayer to remove I-ness.
Pray?
Prayer to remove I-ness.
We said, me and mine, that is impurity. So second chapter gives us, suppose we forget everything. First is develop a dialogue with him. Second thing is erasing of this me and mine. Each one has to devise their own method. Nobody can give this method. Papa has given us a clue by humbling ourselves to him. if we become aware of what all he has given to us, probably it might get reduced. We have to employ this. We have to try this method.
The word renunciation means total detachment from attachments.
We have to see that whether it is possible for us to do that. We are trying to understand from each chapter what can be applied in our life. Because he is telling us from his own experience, not from any bookish knowledge. So we are now trying, it is practically possible for one individual, so it should be practically possible for me also. But I find it difficult, so what am I to do? Suppose we ask ourselves this question, God will guide us from within. So first is talking to...
Swamiji, renunciation must take place naturally.
Renunciation must take place?
Naturally.
Do we have any role? Think about it. As an individual, now we are all individuals.
Our prayers must not be for the renunciation. Our aim is to feel the love of the Almighty. Whatever.
Try that. Okay. But we have to try and see and change it. We have to try and see whether that interpretation is right or wrong. We have to try in our life. Papa, from his life, he says detachment.
Swamiji says, Papa has given us to choose our own way of doing it. For renunciation, first we must control all our desires, choose what is important, what is not important, shed all that extra.
Any method, from this, we will not break. We know that renunciation is needed. Renunciation means detachment to the objects of the world. Anything that is external to me, if I get attached, then it's a problem for me, whether I possess it or not, whether the attachment is there. So to renounce that attachment, that is renunciation. And everything we can try in our life and see for ourselves whether the definition is okay or not. He tried, he did not ask anybody. He tried and he found that when he started detaching himself from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then he was able to feel lot of time for God remembrance. So that is the guidance he has given. Each one has to try whether that is possible in our life. If not, to what extent it is possible. If it is not at all possible, we cry and pray to him.
Papa suddenly shared everything. He decided, but we are not able to.
No, that is okay. That is okay, no? That is perfectly okay. We cannot put ourselves in his position. He has given some guidance. We have to try like him and find out our own method.
Yes, sir.
So we have so many. So suppose with 10 items only we feel comfortable. Can we bring it down to 9? If somebody comes and asks something, are we in a position to give it? These are all the test we are doing it for ourselves. Our mind is not permitting, though we want to give. Then say the attachment is there. Oh, this is how the attachment is there. So in a subtle way, we may be feeling that we don't have attachment. But in a subtle way it is there that we come to realize it. So textual knowledge is not going to help us. So we experiment, we try, and then try to know. So second chapter is, actually when we come to second chapter, what is important is that self-originated prayer and identification of the diagnosis of our problem, like me and mine. And third one is, whenever we get a prompting to take any drastic step, we try to go to the words of wisdom and find out whether it is coming from him or from a play of mind. And then God pushes into that. At the same time, when he left, when we take a drastic decision, we should see that it does not harm anybody, it does not disturb anybody. There may be some superficial disturbance for anything, but not deep. Nobody should be affected. Anybody going from one field to another, that will have its disturbance, no doubt about it.
Yes.
But that is on the superficial plane. After some time, they come to realize that it is for a good thing. Even in Papa's case, she came and joined in the Kanhangad ashram, and Papa himself has written, had she been healthy, she would have also joined the present ashram. Before that, the asthma or something, it became very severe, and she was taken to Chennai, where she dropped the body. So it's not very clear. Then, because after some time, Papa, she is like anybody, no? There is neither attachment nor detachment, because he was equal to everybody. So nobody to be discarded, nobody to be added, no? So these are all the points from the second chapter. And then third, if anybody feels any other point that will be useful for our day-to-day life, you can try.
My point of test is whether this kind of renunciation of a particular person will affect that particular family, and how is it we have to consider that?
Think about it. In his case, he was able to balance it, though there was initially a shock.
Yes. For the family members?
That's what I'm telling. They finally accepted, Actually, instead of a person only to my family, if that person becomes relevant to more family, just imagine. For to expand that, some pain is necessary, pain precedes deliverance. Previously, the wife was thinking that husband is only to me. Then later on, she became aware that he is now in the hearts of so many people, and he has been able to give them peace, solace, devotion, surrender, so many things. When she realized that, she was also comfortable. So, note to me, when I become possessive of a person, and if that person leaves me naturally, I will be upset. So that means that possessiveness, when I give it up for a noble purpose, then I feel, we must have shared this many a times. A group of friends in late 70s in Wayanad, it's a mostly populated by scheduled caste, scheduled tribe people. They will not go to any hospital for any medicine. They have their own, and then many of them became anemic, and lot of problems in their colony. They will not understand also. So a group of people started feeling what should be done, and they brought out an organization called Swami Vivekananda Medical Mission, drawing inspiration from Swami Vivekananda's words. The next problem was they should get a doctor. So they went to the medical college, Calicut, and then any doctor, anybody who has completed MBBS and they have completed the house surgency, before they get an appointment there will be a gap. So they requested them, please come. We will not be able to give you any salary. But many were enthused, they came forward, and then they need medicine. So through their friends, they collected the samples given to doctors by these manufacturing companies. Elaborate network they had, so they were able to get medicine. It was going on. For 2 or 3 months, one doctor will be there, he gets a posting, he goes. Another for 1 or 2 months, there won't be any doctor. So this was going on. And when this came to that stage, they went to Nagpur, met the RSS chief, Devarji. He is like a rishi. He was told the pitiable position. You know what he did? Just at that time, from a middle income family, one person has completed MBBS and house surgency. He called him. Can you go to a place where you don't know the language, where you will not get any salary? You will have to lead a simple life. You have to cook yourself. Are you prepared to go?
Pre-light conditions.
That person immediately said, yes. Person who studied, who was born and brought up in Nagpur, who knows nothing about Malayalam, and he was prepared to come to this place and took charge as the doctor. Young man. We were all blessed to be associating with him right from that day. And when we go there, we always find he will be making some chapati. When the patient comes, he will come out, sit there, right. Then again he goes and prepares something, then cleans everything. Everything he has to do by himself. And then slowly everybody started realizing the seva, sacrifice done by this young man. All that the organization will do is to give him some small provision, that's all. Like wheat or vegetables or pulses or something like that. But inch by inch, brick by brick, If you go to Wayanad today, it has become a huge organization. Step by step.
Today he is awarded.
He is given Padma Shri also. Yes. Padma Bhushan or Padma Shri this year. Sakdev. A very great individual. So that means, suppose the family cries, family would have definitely felt, he is excluded. I have studied. Suppose the father feels, I have earned the entire thing and given to him for studying. To study doctor MBBS means, medical line means it is quite expensive, But with all that, they were expecting that he will settle down with his family and support them later, Normally that is how. But they had the generosity, God blessed them with the generosity to go along with the sankalpa of his son. He did not accept sannyas, he did not talk anything about renunciation, he did not, nothing, neither he nor his family. But what is the effect? The society got the benefit. We are trying to understand renunciation, It need not necessarily be in the way in which we all understand. That is why I say God can make us understand through any language, any values. From an individual, he became an institution. Exemplary, We are talking to you from direct contact with him, from 70s, 74, 75, 76. When we go there, we were also working in a trust. So every month we used to financially support them. So to reach his place, we have to walk for more than nearly a kilometer. Where what do you call it? During rainy season, you can't. The leg will go for 1 foot in that mud. So we have to keep the bike there and slowly somehow reach this place. And when we go and reach this place, the sight we see is that he will be in the kitchen. Or he will be cleaning. And don't think he has got half a dozen furniture. Only one small bench. And some medicines are kept in a small shelf. And in such a condition, who is alone, who doesn't know the language, who doesn't have any salary, what sort of a life is that? And later on, everybody said, you are struggling, so you must get married. So finally, parents were consulted. Parents said, yes, at least he should get married. At least food will be there, so that he can concentrate more and more on the patients. And they fixed up. We all went from Wayanad to Nagpur to attend his marriage because he exemplary life. This is the way we can pay back to him. And when he came back, the organization took a house on rent. That's all. And provisions. So we are trying to understand what is renunciation in the context of ordinary life. No? Forget about all these traditions and traditional knowledge and this. So it can come in any form. The possessiveness of the family was not there. For a greater cause. So me to we. So we try to understand what is renunciation now.
Thank you very much, Swami.
Then we go to the third chapter. Anything from the third chapter? Yes?
Chapter. Be guided by what you get from within.
Please be guided by.
Quoted is not an incident but test of God. These are the 2 points that come to my mind from the chapter.
Be
Guided by.
Be guided by what you get from within.
Yeah.
And whatever is narrated there is not an incident but a test of God.
That means the ideal should be very clear, na? Ideal should be very, very, very clear.
Swamiji, first, second chapter was of fixed resolve. Third chapter is sustained faith by taking vows.
Sustained faith in him. No.
By the taking vows and adhering to the disciplines and all. And next onwards, fourth onwards, everything is positive outlook.
Okay.
Maxims of renunciation life should be there. 3 maxims come in Swamiji takes. 3 maxims.
3 maxims. 3 vows, I think. Vows.
To all mothers. And then again, take Bhiksha.
What is the applied one? No, that is okay. That was for them. What do you and I do now in our present state? What is it that we take it from that? We may not be able to take anything, That's why we are sitting now in our own position. We have not changed. We have read this so many.
Resolves, Swamiji.
As a mendicant, it should be difficult. Stationary in a particular place, that shall be comfort, a little more comfort. Otherwise, it will be tedious.
No, what we are trying to understand from each and every chapter, what is it that that can be applied in our life? Tried at least. It cannot be applied. Agreed. At least we should try.
Resolves from our side, own resolves.
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 Our own results.
Our own resolves.
Our own resolve, not somebody's resolve. Yeah. In search of him, our own resolve.
Our own resolves.
Correct.
Our own goal.
Yeah, very good. Then, anything else?
And adhering, strict adherence to that.
Strict. Next chapter we find that, yes. Or in the same chapter. No, in Srirangam. No.
Swamiji.
And 1 minute before we proceed. The cream of the third chapter is that under the banner of spirituality, let me not think that doing all this discipline is spirituality. Doing these things along with loving everybody, serving everybody, this should go hand in hand. This is the great message Papa gives us. He took the first vrata was consecration of his entire life for the meditation of Ram and the service of Ram. So that means these 2 things should go hand in hand. Not that I am...
Inner Ram and outer Ram.
We should. Like that we take, So far we have been thinking, going to ashram, going to temple, observing certain rituals, observing this, observing that, doing bhajan, satsang, intellectual assimilation. All these things are spiritual. It is necessary, no doubt. It is relevant. But at the same time, whether I am humane, whether the human values are there in my thoughts, words and deeds, whether I am connecting myself with the rest of the creation. Suppose we think deeply about it, the third chapter, in the adoption of sannyas, what is practically possible for all of us to do is to develop this. Number one. Number two, as he said, developing the relevance, respect, and recognize the value of the other gender. Majority of the problem crops up, personal problem in the youthful life is because of our wrong perception of the other gender. So here that also gives us some value. Recognition, respect. But for my mother, I would not have come. So I try to understand that. So motherhood, the holiness, the respect, the reverence I should develop towards that gender. This is also very important. This is for my practical life. For my practical life, I should respect the other gender. If I am male, toward the female. If I am female, toward the male. I respect. I recognize their relevance in my life. So this one, the other one is, under the banner of spirituality, I should not limit myself to any particular area which diverses me from or keeps me away from my obligation towards my co-creation. I am what I am because of the co-creation, so I should be equally sensitive to the demands and suffering of the people in and around me. Think about this. Like that, we pick some points for our day-to-day life. The other one is there in the text, and for him that helped him. But for you and me, when he has prompted us to go through this, what is it that we can pick from that? What is it that we can try in our own life? I don't know how far the context coincides with what we are going to share with you. There was a doctor in good old days. We are talking about 50, 60 years back. 60 years back. The doctor is a wonderful person. He was not having MBBS. On those days, there was a diploma in medicine, LIM, licentiate in medical, something like that, LIM or LMP, medical practice, correct. Licentiate in medical practice, correct. So he was there for the whole of the present day district. And then the only defect is that he is from ex-military. Somehow he fell into the habit of drinking. Very nice person. And if he touches, the patient is cured. That much faith everybody has got. Very noble person. He had a daughter and a son. And the daughter, when she became of marriageable age, somebody was in a position to get in touch with somebody who is well placed, and they explained to them everything. The bridegroom said, okay, it's all right. So they came there to see her. As soon as they came, and then when the doctor came to know that he is going to be my prospective son-in-law, As soon as he entered, he gave a Sashtanga Pranams, touched his feet. And you know what he said? Knowing my habits, you have come forward to save my daughter. No? Touching incident, very touching incident. So that means the other person, I remembered only because of the other person. He was not mixing up the humaneness in him, no? It is all right, somebody has got a craving for it. What has it got to do with his daughter? And if it is okay for the family and if it is okay for her, to me it is okay. No? So such type of the being humane. These are all practical clues, na? It is not a theory, dry theory. So God can come through and give us the guidance through many, many ways. This must have happened in 60s, but still we remember, na? Why do we remember? First thing is that innocence of the doctor, and second thing, the broad-mindedness of the son-in-law. Innocence of the doctor. And he was frank. He did not hide anything. These are so many things, What is humaneness? Na? So when Papa took the initiation, when he said, consecrated to his meditation of God and service of God. What are the words? His life be henceforth entirely consecrated to meditation and the service of Sri Ram. This is the message. Under the banner of spirituality, if we think what is spiritual progress? Dwelling on God remembrance inside and loving and serving to the maximum extent of his creation outside. And respecting the opposite gender. No matter whether they are related to us or not, whether we are connected to us or not. God's creation. And the word he used was very touching. Strict celibacy be observed, looking upon all women as mothers. Okay. Anything from 4? 5 minutes more.
Swamiji, third, there is one more point.
Let it come.
In third chapter, prayer to have courage to adhere to our principles.
Prayer to have courage to adhere to the vows.
Acha, you have given me a prompting. After some time, it should not get deflated. The same tempo should be kept up. Correct. So our prayer should be intense, vigilance should be there.
Swamiji, our universal prayer, give me strength, purity and peace.
Everything is there. Okay, these are all some of the things we can take it for our day-to-day life.
One more point that comes to my mind is the world, adoption of sannyas is the inclusion of the world.
Yes.
Including whatever in the world.
These vows make us understand that inclusiveness or the inclusion. He did not say that let me please go to Himalayas, let me try to concentrate upon you, let me be able to experience this and be there. No. In that process, he wanted to include all. The inclusion, very important.
Expansion too, expansion.
Excellent.
Expansion of we
Expansion. Adoption of sannyas means expansion, from the finite to the infinite, from the limited to the unlimited. Some idea. So these things we'll keep it in our mind and try wherever it's possible, even if we fail, when it is getting rooted, some impact will be there. Some impact will definitely be there. But if you take it as a casual reading, casual hearing, it will not have any impact. So this 2-3 days more, that's all we have. Whatever is possible, we will cover, that's all. But whatever we cover, that is enough. If we take it seriously into our heart. That is what matters. Whether the intensity with which we take it in, then it will get stamped in our heart. And it will have its own positive impact in all our thoughts, words and deeds. Anything from Srirangam?
Optimistic outlook.
Srirangam.
Only 5 paisa, 2 paisa. 2 paisa. Optimistic outlook.
Srirangam.
Only 6 miles. Srirangam it comes only 6 miles.
That is Rameshwaram.
That is Rameshwaram. So the Diksha you will get 5 paisa, 2 paisa you get.
In Sri Lanka, you take sannyas.
Fully under the protection of Ram.
2 paisa leaps with.
You see, as soon as we are fired with and we have taken a plunge, the next important point is God will test us. God will test us, that I should be aware. He was having money, 8 or 9 rupees still with him. But he has taken a vow. What was that vow? The body be maintained and fed upon the food procured by Bhiksha or on what was offered as alms. Okay? So that is there. So the 9 rupees which we had in 9 rupees in 1923 is something like 90,000 rupees of today or 9,000 rupees today. Those who can, elderly people may know. So the 9 rupees is a big amount, very big amount. But he did not touch that. He saw from his plate. And what did he find?
2 paisa.
And what was his reaction? He looking into his own lota, Ramdas discovered in it 2 pies. 2 pies means rupees, annas pies. 12 annas make 1 rupee. 16 paise make 1 rupee. So 192 paise make 1 rupee. 192 paise make 1 rupee. 2 paise he got. And what did he write? His heart leaped with joy. At the sight of this tiny coin, the first proceeds of his... think 9 into 200, 1,800 pies he has already has. That is not his now, because he has taken a vow. 2 pies, that was the first Bhiksha. And he said, the heart leaped with joy. A great lesson for all of us, you know. The moment we take a vow or resolve or anything, a total commitment should be there. Please help me. I make some resolves, but I am unable to hold on. The practical side. And then, he said, you know, service of Ram. The people who were chanting, they felt frustrated because of hunger. Immediately, you know, he did not give a philosophical talk. This is nonsense. You, as a brahmachari, you should not have said. What did he do? He immediately responded by giving them 1 rupee. Another lesson for all of us. Deal with them, if possible, try to meet their demands as much as possible, rather than giving them a big talk. Wonderful lesson from Sri Rangam. And he tests. He must be feeling hunger, because only yesterday night at the E Road he had this some rice, that's all. And afterwards he had to walk 10 miles 16 kilometers and reach the Srirangam, and then he takes his order and then he goes there, so his belly is empty. 9 rupees is with him. He can go to any hotel and have his masala dosha or anything, anything to his heart's content. But no, he was holding on. Wonderful, no, this particular small incident, Papa. So he is teaching us not only you should be, there should be fixed resolve, unwavering commitment to the resolve should be there, and then at the same time be receptive to the demands and suffering of the people, and then take it as a test given to you by God. Why only 2 paise?
Yes.
So he should be satisfied. Is he getting satisfied? So he must be vigilant, and that is why he says his heart left with joy.
Makes so many sadhurams.
So many. So we will stop now. We hope this final reading, this repeated reading, there cannot be any final reading. So even after December 27th, we know now, all of us know that we have to do again 3-4 years of the intense deep study, because it is still floating at the intellectual level, understanding level. Unless and until we connect it with the experience God has given us in our life, it is bluntly we can say, not to wound anybody, that it stays at the academic level, intellectual level. The moment we stitch it with our own life, whatever we have seen and whatever we have experienced, then it has become ours. So we have to do again deeper plumbing. Let us see what we have in store in 5 and 6 tomorrow. Hari Om. Om. Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai 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 Ram. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Pranam Swami.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Pranam. Small announcement.
Hari Om. Pranam.
From today we are increasing half an hour time in bhajan hall. So up to 9 o'clock. So 8 to 9 bhajan will be there. Sorry, 7 to 8. 8 o'clock to 8:45 Ramna. Then 8:45 to 9 is Aarti. Hari Om. Pranam.
This will be here on.
Is it okay?
Pranam,